Good afternoon. I hope I can still get your focus on this. I'm going to shift a little bit. I know you spoke a lot about diamonds, and again, Stephen, for an inspirational speech about the consumer side of diamonds. I'm going to talk about a new market. Some of you have heard that before, and I'm going to talk about the differences, what's different from what we're doing than what you've heard before. But I want to start with a point, a very important point, and I took a lot of points from Stephen's speech before. When you were talking about consumer markets, you were talking about people that are buying diamond in order to keep them, hopefully. When we are talking about financial markets, and the differentiation is very important, we're talking about investment in diamond for two reasons only, either for selling it to make a profit or for using it as a hedging tool against other financial markets. So this is an important difference, and this is an important market that does not exist today. Now before, if you see, the name of my speech is transparency, and I know that words sometimes make you move uncomfortably in your seats, but I want to talk about this because another point I took from Stephen's speech before was data, transparency, collecting data, bringing data back to the market, back to the diamond market, and technology. A lot of those items were talked about, talking about disruptive markets. I'm going to put all this together because everything he spoke there theoretically about is actually going to be practically presented here. So about us, before we start, just a few words. Who is CEDEX? CEDEX is a high-tech company that has raised over $20 million for this vision. It's comprised of 3 groups of experts. We have technology experts, led by our mother company. There's a publicly traded company by the name of Tech Financial Inc. A vast, deep knowledge in technology. We have capital markets experts, such as myself, with over 25 years of experience in derivative and financial markets. And we have teams of diamond veterans that are the founders of the company. Now, the vision, and this, I think, in a lot of ways connects to many of the conversations I heard here. The vision is to create the financial market for natural diamonds. When Stephen, you spoke of the ability to differentiate between synthetics and natural, here is another major opportunity in that matter. Because you spoke about the ability to preserve value over time. For financial market, this is a key element. This is a key element that with synthetic diamonds can be actually a fault. So the major barriers, and I know you heard it before, and I know I'm going over this, but I'll keep it quick. The major issues are the barriers of fungibility, in other words, tradability, homogeneous product, because we all know each diamond is unique. How do we overcome that? And transparency. And I'll talk a lot about that transparency issue in a second. Now, a lot of you guys are rolling their eyes and saying, oh, we heard so many projects. And believe me, I've learned them all. I've spent 6 months of this project just learning about other projects, knowing that we cannot start a project before understanding why other never took off. Why was the financial market, and that's a fact, has never adopted diamond as a financial asset? It's not. There is no financial instruments today on diamonds. So why are we different? All the projects, and when you run them in your head, have the same solution for the fungibility issue. Their solution is, or the solution that came up with, is let's bundle up diamonds together in different ways. I've heard about a basket, I heard about a box, I heard about a bullion, and the last project I heard is a bar. Let's create a diamond bar. like a gold bar, and let's trade that. That's the fungible asset. That's going to be our underlying asset. Where is the problem there? Coming from that industry and talking with the major players, in a second I'll show you who is the major players that we're already involved with. Talking with them, they all came with the same big two issues in that solution. One big issue, financial markets, you cannot accumulate a bundle of assets together and tell them it's a given $100,000, trade it as is. It doesn't work in financial markets. We take that asset, we break it down to the underlying, and we evaluate. Is this rich or cheap? Is this the real market value of what we're paying for? One. Second, if you're creating a derivative product, and a basket, a bullion, a bar is a derivative of the underlying asset, you have to have the ability for financial markets to trade against that derivative. If not, we can never hedge it, we cannot evaluate it, we cannot trade it. So if the diamond, the single diamond, is not tradable, is not transparent, don't expect financial markets to be in the game. They will not, just won't be in the game. You can create whatever project you want and add and put diamonds together in any kind of sort of way, it will not work in financial markets. So understanding this is where we came in and understood that we have to do the hard, complicated work of actually transforming a single diamond to a fungible, and I would call it not a fungible because it's not really, we cannot really create a fungible asset out of diamond, but we can create a tradable asset out of diamond and a full transparent market. Now, I do spare you from the very detailed information, technology information, how we actually do it, and I'm more than happy coming with the transparency sign here to share all this information with whoever wants. I won't do this in this forum just because I know you had many speeches already. But what we're using is we're using two major technologies. One you've heard many times before in the past is called blockchain. Blockchain does to us what is a simple thing. We just take a physical asset, transform it to a digital asset. And we're doing this for one major reason, so we can add the financial information that we are creating on top of it. So blockchain plus the DEX, that is a proprietary patent technology that we have invented, is allowing us to transform diamond from its physical form to a digital form that is tradable. Now, as I promised, won't go in details, but very, very high level, what we do is we take the whole 19 gemological composition that GIA can supply today. We're connected through a two-side API to GIA. We pull up all that information in. Once we get that information, using artificial intelligence and deep learning, we compile that information, and we are able to evaluate what is the effect of each gemological composition of a diamond on its pricing, giving us a one gemological number. So believe it, instead of a 19 gemological characteristics of a diamond, we have one number that runs between 1 and 10 and gives us the exact composition of all the gemological factors of that specific diamond. So at this point, we actually created something that is unique by itself. We created the ability to actually sort in the same category all diamonds based on their gemological composition, how the market evaluates that gemological composition, important to say. In this process, there is no man involved. It's all algorithmics, artificial algorithmics, the cutting edge technology today in artificial intelligence. And the next stage we do, we add into that gemological composition, we add in pricing. So we're connected to the majority of you guys today, majority of diamond suppliers, I mean. We are connected to them. We feed from your data. We compile that data, and we give for each gemological level what is the average pricing of the market for that gemological data. Once we got that, we take it a step further, and we actually transfer that pricing to a value, because in the end of the day, for a financial institution that wants to trade diamond or a financial product of diamond, they don't care if it's costing $10,000 or $15,000. All they care is the relative value. Is the $15,000 above or below the fair value price of that diamond? Is the $10,000 above or below? So we created a very easy scale for them to understand, to trade on the relative price. So they're not looking at the absolute price, they're looking at the relative price. I don't want to go more in depth than that, unless, and again, I'm more than happy to share that on a personal meetings, whoever wants to continue that conversation there. But, and this is the main reason why I'm here. In order for financial markets to open a market for the diamond world, and the diamond world is a world that you spoke a lot, Stephen, about consumers. We're talking about a new market that does not in any way cannibalize the consumer market. You look at industries like gold, like silver, like platinum, they have a full transparent financial market. And side by side lies a consumer market for jewelry. They do not cannibalize each other. They work together. They strive from each other. So what we are trying to create here is create a bridge between the diamond industry and the financial market. The way we're looking to do this is by adding as much transparency. Now, I want to talk a minute about transparency because I know it makes some of you uncomfortable. When we talk about transparency, it's not talking about your margins. It's not talking about how much money is made. The financial market works on margins. We're comfortable with margins. We want an industry that's making money. We want an industry that exists and is a profitable industry. When I'm talking about transparency, is the ability to know where is each asset trading in the market. Now, we do not need to know who sold that specific asset, and I'll even tell you more than that. I don't even care what is the GIA number of that asset. As long as I can take the composition, the gemological composition of that asset, and know how is the market pricing that gemological composition, that's all we need. So from financial world, as much as I can collect more data, as you spoke, Stephen, we will take that data and return it back to the industry. So whoever's connected and transmits data receives back not only his data, but the whole environment of data, anonymously. It's just an analysis that can help you, first of all, run your businesses better, make decisions better, and more than that, create a transparency for your business decisions. Now, this market, live market, is the spot price, or it's the market price that feeds the financial market. Now, you have some names here, and you're going to see more names here. These are not random names. New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, CBOE. These are not random names. These are the giants of the financial world. They're in the business. We brought them in. When we created, and what I'm talking to you right now is not a vision. CEDEX is not a vision. CEDEX is a company that, as Peter said, raised $20 million. We're already $10 million in this project. We are a fully operative product. We have a diamond commodity exchange in London with a global custodianship. Custodians in Hong Kong and Geneva, fully workable. If you go to a system and you press on a diamond, you just purchase a diamond. But it's a digital representation where the physical asset is actually sold by you and brought to our custodianship. And then we create the digital asset into the system. So this digital asset is actually representing every diamond that is sold on our exchange digitally is representing a physical asset that is actually physical diamond that is sold by the diamond suppliers and brought to our custodian. So this is the market we are creating. And this is a live market. When we went, I just came back from New York from our roadshow, and I sat with all of our participants that are in this project and showed them how they're trading. And we created interfaces specifically for financial markets to allow them to buy huge portfolios of diamonds. And they were intrigued. And I'm saying this to a point where they have never seen anything like this. And for the first time, and I'm saying this, for the first time, they feel they can trade diamonds. They don't have to be diamondeers. They don't have to understand in diamond. They can trade diamond as a financial market, as a financial asset. It looks like any financial asset. And whoever wants to see that later, I will show you on the screen. It's live. It's working. Now, what we're trying to create here, and CEDEX is not, again, we are not wearing all the hats. We're just doing one thing. All CEDEX has done in this ecosystem is created two major things. One is collect data and compile a price discovery for the financial market, knowing that without price discovery, financial markets cannot even trade a product. And second, create the ability to trade the underlying asset. Now, when I'm talking about trading the underlying asset for financial market, there has to be a few criteria for them to trade an underlying asset. It has to be tax-free. It has to be fully investor confident in the underlying asset. And it has to be a non-counterparty risk project. So all I'm talking about this is what we've created. So we've created this small universe that allows them to trade the underlying asset. The next stage, and the names you're seeing here, as I said before, are not random. These are the players in the game. The next stage is creating an ETF and a future contract products. Now, I wanted to say something kind of for you to understand why are the financial institutions so excited. Gold is a product that is trading in the consumer market about $150 billion turnover. If I compare it to diamond, diamond is about $90 billion turnover. Gold, until 2004, didn't have an ETF, an exchange-traded fund on gold. There was never existed. In 2004, while I was in New York, they went to the gold consile and they were able to work out the details to create the first ETF on diamonds. Do you know, on gold? You know how much is traded today, that ETF? $30 billion. $30 billion. On top of that, there are 10 more products today on gold that are totally trading $100 billion. Now, when I came to them with what we have done with diamonds, that's what they have in their mind. It's called GLD, the fund. They were ecstatic. They said, we have not seen in the past 15 years a new asset class coming to us with that opportunity. Now, there's many, many challenges, but that's what they're seeing in front of their eyes. So you're seeing the creation of ETF and future. I'm happy to announce, I hope that I'm happy to announce that next year we will pass all the financial regulation needed to actually launch these products. So there's going to be ETF and futures. They're going to be launched on the exchanges that you're seeing here, and you're going to get these players playing that market. Now, just to give you an understanding of the size of this market, when I went to the New York Stock Exchange and I spoke to them and said, guys, they said, listen, I want you to stay here. Don't go anywhere else. We want to do this here. I said, why are you so excited? I said, I'm telling you, diamond, based on our analysis of the market, is going to bring in the first year of trading $1 billion into our assets. $1 billion. Now, when you talk, and I know, I did not approach you before. I approached the financial market because I knew that once I will bring that demand, it will get you interested. I knew that that was what we need to do in order to get people moving. But when we're talking about getting interested, we're talking about taking action. And when I'm talking about taking action, is the ability to move and expand your businesses from just a jewelry business to a financial supporting business. And the benefits for you is one, and most important, to sell more diamonds. Every supplier that connects that supplies data, received full data back, but receives the ability to sell his diamond on the exchange. When I'm talking about reselling diamond, we're not asking for money. You don't have to pay for your distribution channel. You don't have to pay anything. You just have to connect your data in your inventory through an API. It's connected, you're live, you're in the system. Now, to give you an example, the first order they're talking to be about the ETF, just seeding the product, just the first product going into market is a $100 million order, the first one. That's the numbers we're talking with them today. 100 million is the first order to seed the product. Now, this market, and if we look at other markets that are very similar to diamond, this market, without being in any way cannibalizing your jewelry market, the consumer market that Steven spoke about, this market can create 10 times larger market for you. And I'm here because in order for this to happen, in order for all what I'm talking here today to happen, and it's not far away, it's already existing. It's a year from now where actually orders are flying in, are going to come in. We need to connect you guys, to connect the diamond suppliers to the ability to transmit data anonymously, receive analyzed data, be connected to, and allow you to sell your products to a totally new market that does not exist today. So the bottom line of this presentation is not CEDEX. The bottom line of this presentation is the word that Steven said about the ability to create transparency, to transmit data, to receive data back, because that data can make you smarter and make your decisions better. And the ability to open new markets. And that, I believe, again, from my humble place and from my humble position in financial markets, I believe that this is a growth engine for this industry that is far, far bigger than anything that is existing today. And there is the capability to do that, and it's live. So I don't know, Ernie, if I have any time. But I do want to say thank you very much for Ernie for inviting me, and thank you very much for the executive chairman of the DMCC for inviting me here. I appreciate for the stage. We have time for any questions? Please. Yes.
Well, just because my brain doesn't operate that way, I end up understanding maybe only 50% of what you're saying, because it is Greek to me. But I come from South Africa, and Africa being Africa, some other person came with an idea which I find to be similar to yours, but instead of diamonds, they are trading in cattle. Exactly the same way, but I do not know what the difference is. So my main question is, when you talk gold, when you wake up in the morning, you can know what the price of a gold bullion is. Oil, for instance, same thing. But problem with diamonds is that they don't seem to have a price. Because instead of asking how much a diamond costs, a person is asking how much below rep is your diamond. So when you talk about aggregating the prices, how will you be able to do that, considering that the price of diamond is always determined by a discount instead of just the actual value?
It's a very good question. How do we actually create transparency in a market that there is a non-fungible or non-homogeneous product? That's a very good question, and that's exactly where the technology comes in. We are, and I'll tell you one thing that I learned in my years in financial markets, including the 2008 crisis I was involved in. I was in it. In any situation, in any product, the disadvantage can become an advantage if you take the right view on it. When we spoke about disruptive markets, if you look at disruptive markets and you stay still in your point, you will probably lose the opportunity. If you look at disruptive market and say, where can I take that advantage, you will probably gain before the others. In the world, taking it to your question, the complexity of diamond is it's because it's not an homogeneous product. But that's the advantage of it as well. When I speak in front of financial forums, and I've been doing this for almost 3 years now, and only financial forums mostly, I speak about diamonds becoming a stronger asset class than gold. I'm bold to that extent that I say it's going to be bigger than gold. And the answer for your question and why I'm saying that is because it has different categories or different trenches, we can actually create out of diamonds not one gold bar, not one price, but a series of products, anywhere from 1 to 2 carat, that is going to be a very stable, conservative, low volatility, low return product that is very similar to gold that could be used for hedging purposes, to the extent side of very volatile diamonds that their prices are very volatile. In the market, the financial market, there are people in the financial market that's what they want to see. They want to see a market that's moving all the time because that's how they make money. So between this, we can create an array of products, and this is exactly why I'm getting them so excited about this product. Because we can create an array of products, not one gold bar, but we can have an array of products. And even on our system today, you'll see we look at categories, we look them on trenches. We're not looking at the whole diamond market as one. We look at trenches. Right now, we're actually looking only on 0.75 to 2.5 carat diamonds. We'll expand it as we create more and more liquidity from financial markets. But right now, this is how we're looking. And even in those ones, we are looking in trenches in it. But it's beautiful because if you look at fixed income or bonds market, they are built the same way. I hope I answered, but I'm more than happy to explain more. Ken, Johan.
How much has your software changed from when it was linked to a digital currency?
There is, the beauty of our software is that we spoke about disruptive markets. One of the disruptive markets in the world is the digital market. The digital market is currency markets. Currency market holds today, digital markets hold today about $500 billion that most financial products cannot reach to. They cannot trade in financial markets today because they have to convert into what we call fiat, or to dollars or euros. Our system is what we call a multi-currency system, where you go into the system, you know Expedia, when you go in and you choose if you want to see it in euros or dollars, same in our system. You choose, you want to look dollars, the whole system is a dollar-dominated system. If you want to trade it in Bitcoin, if you're a Bitcoin holder and you want to trade buy diamond with Bitcoin, you can purchase in diamond. If you want to exclude a digital trade from your supply, you can exclude it as well. So it's basically a system that allows you to overgap that system, to overgap these two indices, but there is no dependency on that system. The system could be totally dollar and could be without any digital currency on the system itself. I hope I answered your question. Yes?
Hi, let me understand a little bit better, maybe hopefully for the benefit of everyone. You said, what I'm interested in is when you start building your database, because you'll have to start building a database, if I understand well, asking for suppliers of data, meaning people will have to supply, if they want part of whole of the inventory, according to your standards. I guess you will put standards in terms of which kind of inventory you want. And you will collect, in a way or the other, the transaction price, correct? To build your data points?
Correct.
So with time, you will start establishing some price lists, if I can say, or data list of prices of the different diamonds that have been traded on the platform, which then would lead then to different spot prices in groups of, I guess, qualities. That's more or less how you start building your system to underpin your ETFs?
Everything is right except one word. We're not will, we already do. Everything you said, we do already. So we are collecting, we're connected to over 1,000 suppliers today, to their data. We're connected to over 100 suppliers in their inventory. And we are transmitting, we are already creating a spot price. The accuracy, and this is why I'm talking here, the accuracy is what's going to lead the financial market in. The better we get data, so we are getting a lot of ask price data today. And we are balancing it with little execution data. We want to change the ratio. And changing the ratio will give us the transparency needed. Now, if we spoke, when Stephen spoke here before, we talked about actions. A huge amount of diamonds in the future. Although I'm getting back analysis, I don't want to transmit anonymous data. Financial markets will not join in. Right now, we're getting accuracy close to 98 to 99%. It has to come to 100. This is where we are reaching, and this is the reason why I'm here.
Another question, which of course comes from your answer. How will you verify the credibility of the information that you get? Because it's crucial for any blockchain system. It's bullshit in, bullshit out otherwise.
First of all, you're right. It's always, in all these data, all the data mechanism is garbage in, garbage out. The better you get, the better you go. So when we're talking today with financial regulators, they want to know that in the end of the day, when you say the word bullshit in, bullshit out, understand that when you join in and supply data to us, it's anonymous. But the regulator can go and ask, I want to go transaction, specific transaction, and get to the source to see an invoice in the end of it. In the end of the day, the financial regulator wants to know one thing and one thing only. He wants to know that nobody can manipulate the market. For that to happen, we have to have as much participants in the market, as much data. Today, we have about 300,000 prices coming at every second. We have to increase that size. We want to create a better transparency in a better way. Now, in the end of the day, this is a growth engine for the industry. If the industry stays where it is, we'll continue about consumer markets and talk about consumer market. Financial market will not join in. They are concerned about transparency. Now, it's important thing. I've been in here in many sessions. One of the biggest issues we're talking about here is credit lines. Credit lines is connected to transparency. Today, one of the things that we're offering the system, and I just came up for a meeting in noontime about this, is ability to give banks and insurance company the ability to take your inventory and with a click of a button, get a full price of what is this inventory worth to a 98 to 99% accuracy. This gives them the confidence to say, okay, you know, I can actually fund you not against your receivable, not against your other assets, but I'm willing to fund you against your inventory. This is something that happens. I'll tell you what, I'm amazed that a $90 billion turnover industry doesn't have funding. I'm shocked. I was shocked when I heard this. Coming from financial market, this is for them a gold mine. A $90 billion industry, how come they shy away from it? Now, these are tools, and again, I'm not, to tell me that there are hurdles, I know there are hurdles. Tell me it's tough to do it, it's tough, I know. I'm here to do the tough things, the difficult things. We're not here to do the easy. If that was an easy task, I won't be here, and this was not an opportunity. I'm here because it's a difficult task, there's a lot to be done, and if we don't get the industry involved, and I'm not trying to bring everything, this is a social network. We're creating a network where you send data, we send all of your data back. Everything is shared. I'm not keeping the data for myself. And I'm not in any way, we're not touching the data. And we're total transparent. So everybody that wants to come and look at us and check us, we built this company from day one under a public company with full transparency, with full KYC AML, with full compliance. And we are the most transparent company. You're all welcome to come and see us. I was invited here because I was able to show to some of the industry leaders that we are a real deal company here. We are a company that can make a change. So I hope you join us to that change. And it's going to be hard, and there's many tasks to overcome, but we can make it happen, and it's very close because it's live. All right? Thank you.